Hi everyone, welcome back to Grandpa Mark's Hobbies and an unboxing and review of Gaahlerie's GT918 compressor and starter kit. You can find this on Amazon, link will be down below. This kit comes with the GT918 compressor, which is a 2-port compressor with 2 regulators and 2 hose attachments, ready to rock and roll. It comes with a CS30 Classic Series airbrush, right there, a CS36 Classic Series airbrush. Both of them are dual action too. It comes with 6 colors, thinner and cleaner, a color wheel, cleaning pot and tools, 2 air separators, 2 hoses, and that's about all you need. This kit is gonna be perfect for if you're just breaking into airbrushing and you want to start with something that's decent. Let me show you the compressor right now, and I'll fire it up so that you can hear it and how much better this thing sounds than my old pie pan, which died on me about a week ago. So let me pause, I'll bring it back, and we'll start this new compressor up. Okay, at the heart of the kit is the Gaahlerie's GT918 dual airline compressor. It's a 1-liter air tank on it, an auto start stop. It tells you right on the side. I love the Angry Panda. I really like that. But here's what we got on top. We have 2 gauges, 2 regulators. It shows you plus and minus, higher or lower. Lift it up, turn it, push it down, locks it. Same with this one. I already have that one kind of set. I'm running about 18 on the drive side. Not too bad to read the gauges. They go from 0 to 100, but we're gonna stay right around the 18 or so. It's got 2 holders on it that once I'm up and running, these probably won't get used because I will probably use the cleaning pot sitting right up in my spray booth. On the front, you have 2 hose connections, and they give you the cap comes with it, so you don't, if you only want to drive one, you can. Really nice. The hoses, I like these hoses. They're nice and soft and flexible. Your on-off switch. So let's turn this to where it'll probably be sitting most of the time. And like I said, I got it on a chair just to bring it up off the ground and closer to where I'm working, just so I can reach the regulator a lot easier than bending way down in the middle of a spray if I want to do a fine adjustment. There's the dead soldier right there that probably cost me a lot of hearing. It did do a good job, but it was so stinking loud, and it just finally gave it up. But anyhow, let's fire this thing up and see what it does. The switch is right here. It's convenient. Reach in and hit go. Listen to how quiet that is. I mean, that's quieter than the fan that I'm using for it, and it builds up fast. So this one's set, I think, all the way max. So it'll show me where we go all the way. This one is set, it'll run a little bit high until I start spraying, and then it'll drop down, and then it'll kind of stay there. But right now the regulator's just figuring everything out. So we'll pull up. I have hooked up to this thing my GHAC 98 dual action. I want to test this thing out and maybe get a video out on these to show you how well it is. But let's pull the trigger and watch the needle. It will drop down a little bit, but it stays right where I had it set. It's right about 18. You stop, it comes up, down. It recovers quickly. So I would push it in and then pull back the paint, stop, and release. So it really sets itself and recovers quickly. I love it. That is a billion times better than where I was. So I want to thank Gaahleri for this and the opportunity, and I hope you guys like what you see here. So let me spin around and we'll set up and let's shoot something. So I'll be bringing it right back. Okay, I know I said I was going to set you up in the spray booth, but I forgot to show you one thing that I'm going to use every single time I run this thing. I'll move this over to the side, and on the bottom here is a little bleeder valve to release the pressure out of the tank. So it takes the pressure off the tank, it takes the pressure off the hoses, and it comes off the bottom of the little 1 liter tank, so it removes all the water out of there too. So that's just once you bleed all the air off, all the water will be out, and you just tighten that back up. It's just finger tight, a little round brass piece on the bottom. So there we go. Now I'll set you up in the spray booth. I'll bring you right back. We'll show you these airbrushes. Okay, I got you set up in the spray booth with my GoPro hooked up on the top. I think this will get it to where I can video a lot better than the old setup where I was banging my head into it and everything else. But let's break down what we got here. First, we got a CS30 airbrush. Now, I can't believe it came with 2 separate airbrushes. But the CS30 dual action has a 0.3 millimeter nozzle in it. I'll open up the box. The only thing I've checked on this is the compressor right now. So this is unboxing to see what we got. And of course it's upside down. It comes with directions. And this is like the other directions that that they put out, which I really like. Just kind of a quick how to set everything up, how to add your paint. I mean, this is beginner right all the way back. It shows your lock because it does have the control for how much paint flow you have, what to do with your spray patterns. Too thick, perfect. Too thin. It's just really good. Questions and answers. This is a nice setup. And I'm hoping to make a couple of videos here too that will make this a lot easier. So I think what I'll do eventually is I'll do an airbrush video on each airbrush they've sent me and show you its high points, its low points, how to use it, how to clean it. Cleaning it to me is just as important to know how to do than to be able to use it. But right now it comes with the grease, airbrush with a cup that does not come off. The cup is molded in. Check that out. Tip cover, tip. I see it does also come with the tool. So this needle has to be taken off with a tool. And when we get into the how-to and the cleaning and everything, I'll tear that needle out of there. But today I'm not going to rip it out because I'm not set up to put all the stuff in my little container. Oh, look at that. That cup is nice and big at the bottom. So you can get in there and you can really, check it out, you can really do some good cleaning there. So I like that. Standard cap. Nice feel in hand. It's got some good weight to it. Not really heavy, but it's not like the original HF one that I used to use. You got your control in the back here. Dual stage, push down for air, pull back for paint. Oh, now, you know what? That's got a nice, really, really nice feel to it too. And I haven't lubed it yet. The lube, you take this thing apart, pull this out, and you lube the little piece that goes down onto the Schrader valve underneath here. The Schrader valve is the air valve that opens and closes, lets air in through to mix. So what this is for in the back, push this down and pull it back, and then you can tighten this up, and it's drawn way out. It's right Right there I'm touching. And then watch the needle as I turn, or watch the trigger as I turn this. I'm pushing the trigger all the way back and see how it's adjusting away. And what that does is that controls how much paint you allow to come out on a full pull. So you don't have to throttle. Once you get your set nice, you can just pull it back to the stop and go. And I use that a lot in the early days. I probably should I probably should use it a lot more now too. But now I leave it pretty far out, and I have learned to throttle as I go. One thing to always remember: air on first, paint on. Paint off, air off. Always return your paint with your air on and then release, and that way you don't get a buildup in your tip, and it won't spatter when you start the next time or start spitting and clogging this tip up. And I've had that happen. I learned the hard way on how to do that, to the point to where a lot of times I'll be spraying and I'll say air on, paint off, air off, just as a mental memory to do it. It gets to be muscle memory, but for right now, I'm still talking my way through it. So this is very nice. We'll take it apart real quick in the back, just so we can see our jam nut. And I want to pull the needle out. Like I said, since it has the tool, I'm not going to pull the seed out, or the nozzle out, but I will pull the needle out. And I like Gaahleri needles. They seem very nice. I don't have my visor on right now, but just through my glasses, that needle is really nice looking. A lot of people will take the time and polish their needles. I am such a clod that I don't do that, because I can mess that needle up so fast it's not even funny trying to do that. There's a lot of videos online that show you how. When I started using the Gaahleri airbrushes, I've found that I'm getting a really good spray pattern anyhow, and I don't even think about messing up with that. When I put the needle back, I always put my finger right up on the jam nut and kind of use it as a guide. And see there, I don't even have my visor on, and I was able to drop that in there real nice. Now when you're pushing your needle on, you'll feel resistance right up in here, because there's some gaskets that this has to go through. Take your time putting it on. It has to fit through the trigger. Then it comes up, and there's the first gasket. Push it in. Bring it all the way to where it just stops. You don't have to jam it on there. Just bring it up to where it stops, and then tighten up your jam nut. And that locks that in to where when you pull the trigger back, that pulls the needle back. It lets the paint flow through. The air comes up through here, goes around that the nozzle, and it atomizes, and it makes a vacuum and pulls the paint out, atomizes it right at the tip, and squirts it out onto your model with ultimately perfection. Nice little airbrush. Very nice. I can't wait to get this thing fired up. But we're going to put this right back in the case. You know what? Almost forgot to put the rubber tip back on. Right back in the case, and I'm going to set it right on top of the box right now. And we'll get this CS36. Has a 36 or a 0.38 millimeter needle in it. Still dual action. Well, let's see what we got in here. Well, I'm doing 100% here, pulling them out. Again, same set of directions. Beginner's guide, how to do it, where to put the paint, how to switch colors, how to clean it, what happens when you start getting bubbles and stuff like that, what to do when you can't spray, the whole shooting match, where to clean, and where to lube. Nice directions. Let's pull this thing out. Again, it has lube. Look at, there's no tool for this one, so this must have their self-aligning jet, where you just kind of put it on, set your cone over the top of it, and it aligns and seats itself. So let's see what we got here. You know what? This feels just as good as the other one. And it feels just as good as, I'm stepping on hose here, it feels just as good as their 98. It really does. I like it. I like it a lot. Let's open it up here. Let's see what we got inside. It'll be the same thing. Just it has the 30.38 millimeter instead of the 0.3. Put this back on. Whenever you're putting these on, make sure that you get this lined up in the back. There's a little tiny hole in there that this goes into. Don't just jam it on there, because you can take a chance of bending the end of it. Ask me how I know that. I'll blame it on the dog. Okay, again, this has an adjust. Nice, this feels good. An adjuster on the back for the trigger. Turn it in, same thing. Turn it, and it pushes your trigger for a set. I'll keep it all the way out right now. Nice feel to it. Nice feel to it all the way around, just like the other ones. Good opening in the cap, or in the cup. This one unscrews for cleaning. And I'll do that right now. See there, it's got a good size hole in it, so you can get a Q-tip down in there and really clean it out. You can get a Q-tip down in here too. Got a nice Teflon ring instead of a rubber gasket. I found with the rubber gaskets, when you put the cap on, or the cup on, and you tighten it up, it has a tendency to kind of twist the rubber gasket just a little bit. Those threads feel good too, by the way, I have to say. So again, two really decent feeling airbrushes. I'm going to show you this tip, because they've really done a lot of work on their tips, and I really like them. There's the tip of your needle. Most of the time I would have pulled the needle back before I did this. So I'm going to baby that. See if I can get that jet out of there. There's your jet, and it has 8 grooves in it all the way around, which means the air can go around evenly on all 8 of these little grooves. And what that does is that comes across your cone more evenly, makes a better vacuum, and it also helps atomize nicer. So I like that. And you know what? This is bugging the snot out of me, because I know I don't want to put this needle back on, or the jet back on, with that needle in place. Just in case it sits a little different, I don't want to jam it on when I tighten it up. But here's how that self-centers. It just drops right in. There's a little piece of brass on this Teflon. This Teflon ring's replaceable too, but there's a little piece of brass that sticks out of there that fits in that brass hole, and when you put it in there, it has to go there. And then you put your cover plate or your cover back on, tighten it up. Again, just snug. Don't never ever have to jam anything. Tight is okay, but you don't have to go crazy with it. Bring that into the stop, tighten it up, put the back on, make sure it goes into the hole, and you're snug, ready to go. We are ready to paint. So let's see what kind of paint they have. Put this back in here for right now. I'll set it off the side. You know what? How about if I do this? Before we talk about the paint, we'll talk about the cleaning pot. These are nice. You stick your nozzle inside there, you pull it, you blow all your paint down inside. It collects it, it comes out through. There's a little filter in here that helps keep everything neat and clean. They give you a bunch of extra ones too in there. As a matter of fact, I better check. Yeah, I wanted to make sure I wanted to make sure I took them out of there before I use this. So let's do this. My basement right now is bone dry, so I'm not going to worry about adding a line air dryer on it because I'm not going to spray a whole lot. We'll just do a quick test spray on something. But see, this will just go in here, and when I'm normally painting, instead of using the one on the compressor, which is really nice too, I'll just set it in here because I always leave my cleaning pot up on top. So there's the cleaning pot and a nice holder. Now let's see what we got for paints here. We got 6 paints. Black leaked just a little bit. Red, yellow, green, blue. I love that color blue. You know, we'll leave that out. We have airbrush cleaner and thinner. We'll leave the thinner out too. Let me clean my work surface up, find something to shoot real quick, and I'll bring you right back, and we're going to spray some nice looking blue. Okay, bring it back here. I have an old chassis for tubbed out. This, I think, came from my Dart. Let me lose my watch because I don't want to paint it. I'm pretty sure this came from my Dart because I used the standard, and this is for the tub. But it'll be good to be able to see. I also have a spoon. This has, I think, Vallejo's Gull Gray on it. So we'll see what happens just for the heck of it. I want to see what this does over no primer to start. So let's pull these up and see what the paint is like. I'll put a few drops in this cup. You know, I had a gob come out of there. We'll see if we can't use it. Oh yeah, it's breaking up really nice. I put a bunch of thinner in there, probably more than I needed. Yeah, I made that too thin. So let's put a little more paint in there. I wish I had smaller caps for doing little tests like this, but I don't. Let's put another couple of drops in there. I think this paint's going to go a long way because it's not really super thin. That looks better. See there? Looks like water. I gotta quit making bubbles though. That's my fault. That might be even a little too thin. Let me put another drop in there. One more. It's always easier to add it than to try to take it away. I like that. That's very nice. I only have to use one pipette here. That's better. That's what I want. See that? It runs down there like milk. Stir that really good. I'm gonna get the rest of this in there. I kind of expected to have a little gob of paint to come out of there because it's, you know, you never know how long it's been sitting in the thing. There we go. Let's turn on the compressor over here, and I will set, I'm on number 2. So I'm going to set that at right about 15 to start with. Now when I do this, you always have a little bit of drop when you pull the trigger for what your first setting is. See, that went way down. I want to bring it up now. I like this regulator. Bring it out. That went to about 12. Okay, that's 15. And I don't know why, but I always try to start with 15 when I try new airbrushes and things. So let me get some on the some in here. I could have mixed a whole lot more, but I'm really not going to spray. I just want to see how it goes. And I don't have my fan hooked up today because I'm going to make a mess here. I don't have my fan hooked up today because you want to be able to hear. So I'm going to give a quick spray here. I can't tell. So let's move everything out of the way. We'll move this out of the way and we'll hit the spoon. I'm not pulling all the way back. I'm just giving it a little light coat. Now this spoon is, like I said, has the Vallejo on it, and it was not sanded or anything. I just wanted to see how the pattern is. And I think I want to see what goes on here. Let's try it without the primer. See how much nicer that is? I got too thin here. See how it's kind of spattering out? There's two things I'm going to try. First, I want to try lowering the pressure just a bit. Come down to about 12. That looks a little better, but I'm still a little spotty here. Yeah, see, I'm too thin. Too thin for that much air. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to suck that back out of there. As much as I can. We'll spray this out. I'm going to add another drop. I'm going to add 2 drops for the way that looked. We'll mix that in there. I wasn't sure if that was too thin or not. Like I said, I don't have my visor on. Okay, now we're starting to look like paint. Let's put it, oh geez, I'm sorry. Put some in the cup. And I'll just spray a little bit on the back here. Oh, okay, that's nice. There we go. Let's see what I can do with this. It always takes me a while to get used to different paint. I'm hardly pulling back at all. Now I'm pulling back a little more. Let's see how it kind of spattered a little bit. That's telling me I'm going to lower my air even more. Let's see how that does. There we go. Look at that. That is spraying nicely now. I went down to about 9 pounds. And I'm getting nice. Even at that low air pressure, I'm getting really nice results here. I went a little too much. I like it. I really like that color. Okay, where we did it here, we're not dry. I wanted to see how quick that dried. Like I said, I'm just playing here. And now I'm out of paint. But it does spray well. It sprays very well. See if I can suck a little bit more out of here. Oh yeah. I can get a few more drops in there. No problem. Look at how nice. There, I'm out of paint. But that sprays very nice. I'll take that. And that's with paint I've never used before. So just mess around with it a little bit. You can get pretty darn good with it. So I'm going to hit pause, and then I'm going to bring you back for cleaning. We'll tear this thing down and clean it like I always do. And we'll see how that works. So stick around. Okay, we are back. I'm going to use my master airbrush cleaner just because my setup is that way. They do give you a sample of cleaner in there and thinner, but I'm going to use what I have just because, like I said, I'm more familiar with it. In the pot, you get a cleaning kit or cleaning brushes and nozzle cleaner. I use Q-tips, nice pair of tweezers. Those are just to help me out because I got bumble fingers. What I always do is I'll shoot a little bit of cleaner in one of the cups. I have a mason jar with the same amount of cleaner in there. I'll show you what that's for here in a minute. And I have paper towel that I'm gonna hit with some of that cleaner too. Just give it a little shot, and that helps immensely. Now what I'm going to do here is take this, we'll put it in the cup or the cleaning jar, and I'm going to turn my pressure up, just arbitrarily up. I'm right around 25. Shoot some of that out of there. See, now I'm pretty well dry. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to take my rag, I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to wipe out the cup. I love that color. Just give that a quick cleaning. We're not going for 100% clean here, and I'll show you why. Let's open up my mason jar. I like working out of the mason jar with the pipettes. It's just convenient. We'll take and we'll put a shot in here. I don't want to fill it up, but I want to get some in there, slosh it around, and I'm going to spray that out. And I'm working back and forth, working that needle in and out, just to kind of move the paint around. Still got some in there. There we go. You can hear the difference in sound when you get to the end of the cleaner. So that took a lot of that paint that was around the sides and everything out of there. Now what we'll do is we'll take some more, put it in there, and I'm filling up, a little more than that. I'm filling up just into the cup. See there? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my finger over the front here, and I'm going to ease back on this. And what I'm doing is I'm pushing air backwards down around into the needle, into the jet area, up past the needle and up into the cup. And that helps break a lot of the stuff loose. When you do this, keep your pressure down. You don't want to put have your pressure at 50 or anything like that. Keep it right around 10 or so, because you're pushing air into your finger here, and you don't want to hyper yourself. So just blow it out a little bit. I do this 3 or 4 times. Get all that out of there, and then I take my other shot glass. I just dump it out. There's no sense in pushing that back down past the needle, and you can already see inside there looks a lot better. So we'll take our paper towel, wipe, 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 get that clean. Now the cup is clean. That cup cleaned out real nice. Now I'm going to take the cup off. Look inside. See, I got a little bit of paint in there, but the cup is clean as a snot whistle. I don't have to really Yeah, I am going to just a little bit here. Take my Q-tip, dip it in, come around here. Yeah, see, I did have some inside there. That's why I like that hole being big enough for a Q-tip. Come in, bring it around, get all that paint off of there, come back in with the other side, and clean it out. Look at nothing on there. That cleaned out very nicely. And that goes into the thing I got at when I was at the hospital. So we have dirty, we have clean. We have a dirty and clean Q-tip. And we have paint in the thing here. I'll put a couple drops, just a few. I'm not going big time in there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually shoot a little of that out. Grab my Q-tip over top of this, because sometimes I make a mess. I'm just going to wring this out just a little bit. You don't have to go crazy, but you do want to get it all broken up. Look at that. Anything that was in there is now not. And I do that just because I think it helps. Shoot that. Now I can turn that paint back up, or the air back up, because I'm not sticking my finger in there. That's looking really good. Now we're going to take these out of the way. Well, not this one. I'm going to use that. Put my finger on there. I'm going to take the nozzle off. Drop it in. The nozzle protector, or the needle protector. We're going to take this off. Let's do this first. We'll take this off before we mess our needle up. It's a lot easier to do this when you're not thinking about it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come back just so the needle gets out of the way, but not all the way out. Just pull it back enough to where the needle doesn't show anymore. Now we'll take this, unscrew it, and I'm taking my time here so it doesn't just fall. Make sure the jet's there. See, the needle's still sticking out there. I didn't draw that all the way in. Drop that in the cleaner. Make a mess. Wipe the mess up. I'm trying to keep my spray booth semi-clean. Now, with the needle, for years and years and years and years, I always would just grab the needle and pull it out. And then I started thinking, when I do that, I pull all that paint out through this way. So what I'll do is I'll loosen the jam nut and I'll push the needle that way. There's nothing there to keep it from not coming out, and you're not damaging anything by drawing it out. Grab it around here. Keep your fingers away from the pointy end. You don't want to stab yourself or mess that needle up. And pull it straight out that way. Now, you didn't just pull all that gunk. See, there's still stuff on the tip. You didn't pull all that gunk back in through past all those gaskets and everything. Now we'll take this. We're going to wipe it over our paper towel a few times. Careful not to bend it. Go straight. Your needle is clean. Looks good. Set the needle out of the way somewhere where you're not going to damage it. And it's time for tweezers. Tilt the jet up, or the jet cover up. Give it a little white wash clean there. Take a look at it. There's nothing in there at all. But I am going to take my Q-tip, give it a swirl, pull it out just to make sure that looks good. I do have a little bit on the tip here. Wipe that off. Come back. Do it again. That looks good. Set that in here. If I set it on here, it will roll right underneath that filter, and then I'm upset. Ask me how I know how that happens. That's why I have this now. I'm going for the bigger stuff first. I always do. We'll do the protector. You can see I did get a little paint on there because I didn't have my settings right. You will get some, but I was starting to get a little buildup. That's because I wasn't mixed properly. My air wasn't right. My mixture wasn't right. But we will figure that out. That's a lot of just learning the paint. I usually use Tamiya paint. I know exactly what that's supposed to look like. And I know what my pressures should be when I paint. So I don't really get a quick buildup like that. That looks nice and clean. That cleaned off well. And the last thing is the smallest is the jet itself. Now I always make sure that I don't try to grab it by that jet. I grab it by the side. That looks good. I'll grab just a smidge, put it on here, and just squeeze it, push it right through. Wipe that off. That'll be good. If you had a longer session, which I didn't, you can use this. And what I do is I'll dip that in the cleaning solution. And I'll chase this around. Take this and I just set it in there. And I wring it real easy with my finger. I'm not pushing down. I'm just going this way with my finger. I don't need to ream that out. There's no paint clogged in there. If there was a clog, I would push it in just a little bit and come on an angle this way to put just the smallest amount of pressure on that, on the cleaner. And that'll get that paint cleaned out of there, because this has a flat on it and it'll ream it out. But just for everyday cleaning, I don't do that. I just go sideways just to make sure that there's nothing that's stuck to it. Now we'll set that down. I'm going to come back, move this out of the way, move this out of the way, bring my dirty paint one back. We're going to take my jar, and I'm going to run some straight through. I like doing this way. That's the way the paint flows. No sense in pushing it up that way and getting it to where it might go past that gasket here a little bit. I'm going to look in there. This is clean as a whistle. I'll wipe this down a little bit. Look on this end. Now, if I had done it for a while, and I'm going to do it just because I'm going to show you, but I will take my medium-sized bristle brush, dip it in here a few times, and I'll run that up this way and clean it out. This one's a little bit smaller. I'm not forcing it at all. I'm just running it in there. Now I'm going to go with the smaller one because that was really tight. And we'll come up, push that one in. That's still too tight. We'll go with the smallest one I got. So this is the same as their other airbrush. The way that runs. See, the smallest one runs through there. Go back and forth a few times that way. Now I'll take the biggest one I have. I'll come down here. You see it running out. And I'll just kind of swirl it around a little bit, just to make sure everything's out of there. Get this out of the way. Grab another shot or two. Run that down there. Shake, 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 shake. Get all the extras. Wipe everything down. Take a good look at it. Make sure everything looks good and clean. Clean as a whistle. Like I said, we only sprayed for a couple of minutes, so I'm not worried about it. I'm going to set that there because I want to put this on so I don't stab myself somehow. Move all those out of the way. Take this. Clean it out. We'll put that out of the way. That's why I couldn't do that again if I tried. I set these down here and they seem to like to roll that way. Now you see I have two pipettes. That one we'll use here in a minute. But we'll bring this back up and we're going to reassemble everything. Starting with the jet. See, this is self-centering. It just goes right in to that little gap. Take your cover, screw it on. If it jams or anything or feels tight, stop and check. It shouldn't. This should go on there just like this, real nice and smooth. Bring it down till it comes close. Give it a little turn to tighten it up. You don't have to crank it, just tighten it up. Do the same thing with this one till it hits. Now we'll put our needle back in. Put my finger on the end of the jam nut. Grab my needle up close. Set my needle on my finger. There's a little piece of paint right there. Look at that. Let's get rid of that. I don't know how I missed that. There it goes. Gonzo. Always check, because you don't want to put it back together again dirty. That paint would lock up in here. There we go. Now I'm through here. I'm up against my gasket right here. Give it a little push through, and it's on the stop. Tighten your jam nut. Make sure this fits into the little hole. See there, it's trying not to because I'm not looking right. There we go. It'll drop over it. On. Turn my pressure up a little bit. Put my cup back on. Put that in here. Now what I like to do every single time, I'm sorry I'm banging this thing around. What I like to do every single time I am done is I take a little bit of thinner. And when I say a little bit, that much in a pipette, 4 or 5 drops. Just a couple of drops. And I'll put that in here. I'll run that back and forth until that clears through. And I feel like what that does, and I don't know if it's right or not, but what I feel like that does is I feel like that takes and cleans the cleaner out of the airbrush. I got that up pretty high. That's at like 25 PSI there. That sounds better. Everything looks clean. I have one more wipe out to do just to get any thinner that was on there out. Put our cap back on. Put that in here. And we are done for the session. That's a pretty much a thorough cleaning of the airbrush. If you're just changing paint colors, you would just run some of the cleaner down through there to rinse out the paint till it flies clear. Put a little bit of this through it just to make sure that the cleaner is out. And then you can put your paint in. But there we go. And I'm really impressed with everything. So I think, oh, I forgot to show you, they gave me a color wheel too. I don't have a clue how to use this, but give me a couple of days and I will. But I want to thank Gaahleri for everything, and I want to tell you guys that if you're just starting out, this would be a good one to start out with. So I am Mark. This is Grandpa Mark's Hobbies with a really nice Gaahleri setup. I hope you all have a great day and a better week. Thanks for watching.